Okay, folks, we are live, and I'm excited to bring you another edition of Industry Leader, a new broadcast I created to really give star entrepreneurs, industry leaders, as we call them on this show, a platform to tell us what makes them an industry leader and connect with their ideal client. And I'm excited to bring you one of the best in the mortgage business today, Evelyn, who really combines great knowledge of the industry with an impressive company behind her in Guaranteed Rate. And we're going to talk more about that. If you do feel that you are an industry leader, and feel free to reach out to me. The program is only available by referral. So if you know somebody in our networks, I am looking for candidates for industry leader. And but I want to get right to Evelyn and just have you introduce yourself, Evelyn, and tell us a little bit about yourself and your story.
First of all, David, thank you very much for having me here today. It's great to be here. I've been in the mortgage business since 2004. Prior to that, I was a bookkeeper and accountant for about 18 years. I started in bookkeeping straight out of college. And I've always really liked working with numbers and using numbers to find solutions to an issue that someone might have. So, all those word problems that we hated in math. It's turned out that real word problems in the real world are quite interesting. So I've been in the mortgage business for about 16 and a half years now. And I've been at Guaranteed Rate for just over 2 years. And that's a little bit about my work background. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. And I've talked to you a bit about Guaranteed Rate. It just sounds like such an innovative and great company to work for. I don't know if you just mind telling us, what you like about Guaranteed Rate and why it really is such a special company to work for.
Sure. Well, I would say the reasons kind of split into two categories. On one hand, we are a very large lender. And so we have leverage of lending directly through all of the major investors. So we underwrite our own loans, which makes the process much more efficient. Also, because of the size of our company, we have amazing technology, which just facilitates the process for our clients and makes it go much more quickly. I've never been at a company that was big enough to offer those kinds of tools that operate at that level. Then on the other side of it is the core values of the company, which Guaranteed Rate really walks its talk. We have a set of 10 core values that are very customer oriented and very service oriented. I would say that they are both passionate and very humanistic. And so those two pillars really excite me when I think about a place that I want to work and help my clients find money to purchase or refinance a home. That's exactly where I want to be.
Yeah, and you have a little interesting story about that background behind you, if you don't mind just telling us quickly with that little anecdote.
Sure. So we're headquartered in Chicago, and this background that's behind me is actually a shot from the roof of our headquarters in Chicago. And so if you go online, you can see events that have happened there, and you can see people sitting on these chairs that are right here behind me. So I love having a background that's a real place that exists in the real world and is a nice, comfortable place to hang out.
Yeah, no, I love that the kind of grunge look, the authenticity to it.
Yeah.
And I incorporate some of that element into my own branding so that I have an affinity for that. I did want to, we are going to get a bit more to the mortgage business in a minute or so, but I did want to ask you about, I know some of your production has really been off the charts in terms of what's going on with the mortgage business, but you've really been a star performer in the field with Guaranteed Rate. But some of that is also the company giving you that ability, the flexibility and some of the things that you offer. If you don't mind just telling us kind of what you've seen from your own production recently, and kind of some of your secrets to success, but also working within the system of guaranteed rate and how that
Sure,
has contributed.
sure. So I'll just say that I really have seen my business take off over the last couple of years since coming to guaranteed rate. And I would say that a lot of it has to do with that leverage of efficiency that's offered through the technology. Part of the culture at guaranteed rate is that they call their loan originators VPs. So I am a vice president of mortgage lending, and the idea is there is that I'm the CEO of my own business, and guaranteed rate provides resources to me, sort of a fund for helping me market my business and some assistance in doing that. So before, it's kind of like a one-woman show where, you're doing the loans over here and then marketing for more over there. At guaranteed rate, I've really had the support that I can spend more time reaching out to more people and talking to them about mortgages, that's the key to my business, is talking to people about mortgages.
Great. And you are based in Berkeley, and so if you are in the East Bay, we're going to talk a little bit more about your ideal client in a few
Sure.
minutes. I did want to just ask you about some trends about what we're seeing in the real estate and mortgage markets. A lot going on here in the Bay Area. If you don't mind giving us a snapshot about what you're seeing out there.
Sure. So real estate wise, we are seeing an incredibly competitive market. There, as usual, is not enough inventory on the market. However, right now, there is even less than usual. So we are seeing price increases. Prices are continuing to increase, and there hasn't been a lot of inventory for buyers to buy. So that's one development. In response to that, we're seeing many people, and rather than moving, we're seeing some people just deciding to improve the home that they live in already, or to add some kind of an accessory dwelling unit to increase the size of their home, or maybe to add some kind of a rental income stream. So we're seeing a lot of things like that happening in the market. We're also seeing cities change their zoning laws in recognition of the fact that we need higher density and more affordable housing for people in the middle class, right? So that's a trend that's happening in real estate more on the city administrative levels. A lot of cities like Berkeley are making shifts to focusing more on multi-unit housing. So those are some of the trends in real estate. As far as mortgages, we're continuing to see rates staying low. However, there's upward pressure on rates because of the recovery that we're seeing in the economy. That creates inflation, which is that's the enemy to an investor on a bond, which is what these 30-year mortgages are tied to. So there's some upward pressure on rates that we're seeing from that recovery. So I wouldn't consider that a bad thing. It just means that things are going better. So those are the main trends that I've been seeing. Rates continue to be low. It's just we're a little bit off the lows of last fall.
Right. And I've heard personally about some of your service from people that I know. I just want to read a couple of testimonials or parts of them from Patricia J. The team, superb follow-up, accuracy, friendly, helpful. Evelyn Freitas was a miracle to work with. This was my first home, and she made everything clear and easy. She's incredibly knowledgeable and did a superior job of combining her experience and facts with compassion and kindness. Amazing. Could not have done it without her. Just such a beautiful testimonial. Another from Christina C. They went above and beyond to get my home refinanced. Every time I felt like we would have a problem, this team came together and worked harder to overcome the challenges. And that's Christina C. And I really see that in some of the division of labor that you have with guaranteed rate, that there is really such an effective team behind you. I have one more here about Evelyn Freitas and her team made refinancing our VA mortgage smooth, straightforward, and easy to understand. Unlike experiences we have had with other brokers in the past, guaranteed rates stayed on top of the process, even guiding us through solving a frustrating problem with one of the credit bureaus. We are now saving more than $500 a month on our monthly payments. We're delighted to recommend their superb customer service to anyone seeking a mortgage. And that was Pam Condi. If you don't mind just commenting on, the customer service and some of the uniqueness in the process in terms of your ability to, really provides experiences at such a high level.
So first of all, I have a dedicated team of people who work on every single loan, and we sort of pass the ball back and forth, but we're all on deck the whole time. And by doing that, there are a lot of people available to help our clients with any issue that comes up. Other than that, though, what I'd say is that my personal belief is that the modern world has gotten a little bit too efficient and quick, and there's not always the time or space created to really hear what is going on with someone and really hear what they're dealing with. And so I'd really say the key to that is really listening to my clients, what their situation is that they're coming from and what it is they're looking for. Right? This is getting a mortgage is not like buying a pair of shoes, right? It's not necessarily an off the rack thing. So I think it's really important to listen really closely to what it is somebody is looking for, and then really go out there and help them find that, right? Where people aren't listened to or heard enough in the issues that they're experiencing with their family, their housing, their finances. And for me, it's really essentially important that people have an advocate. That's who I am. I'm their advocate. And so by hearing their story, I can be sort of like a Sherpa, right? I carry everything for them. I help them all along the way with the particular kind of help that they need. And so I feel like that belief that I have drives me to have those kinds of conversations with my clients and maybe go a little bit deeper. Yeah.
Thank you. And just the last question, unless we have any follow-up or closing remarks, I wanted to just ask you about who your ideal client is. Who do you like to work with out there?
Okay, great question. Ideal client. So my ideal transaction would be a purchase transaction where somebody is buying a home. So my ideal client would be somebody who's buying a home in either California or Washington, where I'm licensed, and somebody who is interested in getting a really good deal in the sense of really being able to look at their options and get a tailor-made mortgage solution that's tailor-made to them and their family, so it suits their needs right now and going into the future. Somebody who's looking for a conversation like that and has questions along those lines, that would be my ideal client. Beyond that, of course, credit and having a job is very important. However, what's most important to me is working with somebody who has that motivation to achieve home ownership and do it affordably and really do something important for their family and themselves.
Excellent. And I know from personal experience that a number of other folks who I consider industry leaders, such as Realtor Declan Spring, folks just speak very highly of you out there, and your reputation really precedes you. So it's such an honor to have you on, is to show folks what an industry leader looks like and thinks and acts like in the mortgage field. So I will put the comments or the contact info for you down below if folks are looking to buy out there or want mortgage advice. Get in touch with Evelyn.
I'd love that. If you have questions, let me know. And David, thanks again so much for having me on with you today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And David and Evelyn with Industry Leader signing off for today. Thanks, everyone.